drivers in particular are seeing the impact of the war on Iran up close is at the gas pump. AAA Texas says a gallon of regular gasoline is now $3.29 on average here in the state. That is almost 75 cents higher than just a week ago.
Now, the price of gas is closely tied to the volatile swings happening in the global oil market. The International Energy Agency has even warned the U.S. and Israeli war on Iran was creating what it called the largest supply disruption in that market's history. We want to talk more about what part Texas will play now amid the uncertainty of where the war will go from here with our guest today. Todd Staples is the president of the Texas Oil and Gas Association. Todd, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Okay, talk to us, particularly for people who aren't following the energy markets closely, but they may be seeing those prices at the pump. Why does this escalating war in Iran have such a big ripple effect on oil prices worldwide?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head when you commented about this being the largest disruption to daily oil supply in the world's history. The fact that you have Iran effectively closing the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the global oil supply moves daily. The fact that Iran is systematically targeting oil infrastructure in the Middle East is creating uncertainty in the marketplace. And this uncertainty is having a ripple effect when you look at the impact that it's changing in our market structure. The thing that we need is to get this resolved, and hopefully the president and his administration will be able to get Iran to come to terms to get stability back once again to the marketplace.
Todd, we did want to ask you about something the president said just very recently. So some experts out there are saying that the Texas oil industry in particular is positioned to be a big winner from this war. President Trump posted online saying that when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money. So we want to hear from you about how true that is. Are these price spikes good for the Texas oil industry?
Well, the Texas economy is the cornerstone is the oil and natural gas industry, but what oil and gas needs is certainty and stability for long-term planning. We do have volatility in pricing. A few weeks ago, oil was trading in the $50 barrel range, which made it very difficult. We've seen escalations now, but our goal is to have certainty as soon as we possibly can. The fact that we have Texas-led American energy dominance does lead to national security. The fact that we're being able to withstand these difficult hostilities, the fact that our allies around the globe can rely upon us. We do have the best infrastructure, the best technological advanced opportunities right here in the United States, and that enables us to operate from a position of strength. And the Texas economy benefits when oil and gas does well, that's for sure.
So in light of all that, is Texas in a position to help meet some of the supply needs we're seeing?
So short-term volatility doesn't automatically translate into immediate production changes, but we certainly have the capability to do that. And once this is resolved, we will see how this plays out. We know that the world uses about 104, 105 million barrels of oil a day. Saudi Arabia has announced they've cut production by 20% already. And so that's what you're seeing these swings occur from. But Texas and the United States is in a position to continue to lead. The voices that have called for oil and gas to go away, for oil and gas to be reduced over the past few years, it's a great thing that we didn't listen to them, because we need the capabilities to continue to produce, to have the stability that we have, and to have the insulation to some degree that we're seeing that other places in the world are experiencing, that we're not having that same level of intensity here.
Todd, you touched on it a moment ago, but I wanted to be more specific. I mean, what are some of the biggest things that you think the Texas oil industry has done, particularly to prepare for a moment like this one?
The modern day oil and gas companies are innovation and technology companies. We've been able to produce more than we ever have with fewer rig counts, and that has enabled us to be a global leader in technology, a global leader in the movement of oil. The fact that we are a net exporter of oil today really is significant, that we have a robust infrastructure and pipeline to move that product to our refineries. Texas is strategically located here along the Gulf Coast. Obviously, we're home to about a third of the nation's refining capacity. Texas, if it were its own country, would be the fourth largest oil producing country in the world. We produce about 43% of our nation's crude oil. And I think these factors alone enable us to have a position of strength, and enables our president to have a better leveraging position when he's negotiating with these foreign powers.
So I think most of our viewers at home are following a lot of this, but really what they want to know is, how is it going to impact me? What should Texans be watching for when it comes to gas prices in the weeks ahead? And I'll note for you, Todd, we've seen some reports of folks, who may not be as impacted by this situation, but maybe taking advantage of the moment and hiking some prices. Is that something you can speak to? And generally, what should Texans prepare for?
Well, we certainly need transparency in all transactions for sure. And we want to make certain that this is least impactful to our economy. What we don't know is what kind of a ripple effect this situation is going to have globally, and then what's that going to mean to global growth and global job creation. And we think that Texas and America will be best positioned to lead. We are facing disruptions here locally and in America, just like everywhere else. But I think the fact that we have this infrastructure and we have these capabilities means that longer term, we're not going to be feeling the pinch, and longer term, we're going to be stronger because we have these capabilities here.
Todd Staples is the president of the Texas Oil and Gas Association. Todd, thank you again for joining us and for giving us this time.
Thank you. Good to be with you.